Oh, Ben.
I'm only kidding, Nathan. You're a smart fellow. I like that when I say that, you kind of looked at me, you're like, you're only kidding. But no, Nathan, I meant it deep down, bottom of my heart.
You've touched my heart, Benjamin.
Touched my heart.
You've touched my heart, Benjamin.
Anyhow, this is the first map of the final series of the day, guys. So spawning in the top of Varney Research Station, as I read Terran, we do have Russia's Happy. Got to point out it's Russian, man.
Yeah. And his opponent in the bottom position, the blue Protoss player, repping Finland. He is Welmu.
Both these guys are actually teamless right now, correct?
As far as I'm aware, yeah.
Because I know, well, Happy hasn't been in a team since he left Empire.
He was like the last guy on Empire too. Like he was the guy standing on the mast of that ship as it dipped into the water.
Certainly was. I mean, Cass jumped off and joined Cascade, and then talked about, hey, I'm gonna make my name Cascade. And it was like, no, Cass, don't do that. Like, okay.
It's like, don't totally rebrand yourself. It's not worth it.
No, and Welmu did leave Team Neurosoft. Since, though, he's been doing pretty darn well. He is in the top 16 WCS, and where is Happy, actually? Did he qualify for top 16 WCS?
Why? My brain isn't working.
Happy's just like
I don't remember
void in my
Happy's
brain.
games.
Yeah.
They were at their broadcast at really terrible hours for you guys watching.
I can't even remember who Happy had to play in WCS, to be honest, and that's it's a little sad for me, given that I do like watching his games. Ooh, was he in the... No, he wasn't. Damn.
It's okay.
I was thinking maybe he was in the group, but that was Major. I was thinking of like Bunny, Violet.
The problem is when I think about Happy, it's hard not to think about his other games in this tournament. That's like all I can think about when I think of his games. Because ever since you brought up that mech series, I'm thinking, like, back in my mind, I keep thinking mech, but I know that that's not going to happen in this series. Happy's going to go for a fast engineering bay block though.
Unfortunately for him, what works against him here is that Welmu has no intention of taking that Nexus super early with his probe, so I think he just knows Happy well enough to know that he's the kind of guy that would do this. Happy is just pressing T and halting position on that guy, by the way. Still producing the Zealot, so he'll come along and clean up this engineering bay and maybe the SEV in the process.
Yeah, well, he's going to delay. You know, it's like you always want to delay the expansion with this, but I think if Welmu had maybe... I don't know, not sent the probe down and let him get that engineering bay closer to finishing, then it's much more problematic. But, you know, oftentimes Gateway Expand versus Reaper Expand, that Nexus starts around the same time as the Command Center. And for this game, he gets the Command Center a good 15, 20 seconds earlier.
Certainly does. Will eventually supply block himself a tiny bit here with the SUV finishing and the depot a little bit later. So it's not at a cost, or at some cost. Goes for a second barracks, by the way. So he's not going for this factory opening, and he does still have 3 guys on gas currently. Third barracks on the way. So he's got quite a bit of gas income. So he's not going for Widowmine drops as of yet. Like, normally you get to see players either go for a barracks, factory opening, or a barracks into 3 racks opening. So Happy doing the latter. Much safer, much more middle of the road. Can't really deal damage until like the 10-minute mark, unless you go for like some kind of concussive shell or combat shield push, but we'll see what both players choose to do actually with this.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that I think Welmu can still do, as we haven't seen really any tech from him just yet. It's going to be a robo facility, as I say that. But the barracks opening, is Welmu aware of this, though? It hasn't really been much scouting on his part, right? So Welmu still has to keep in mind the possibility that it's a factory follow-up, because he hasn't seen anything this game of Happy's.
One thing we do have to take into account is the amount... Oh, so Happy does actually get to scout this Robo. So this Reaper will eventually die, but his purpose in life, in this game, was to scout what tech his opponent did.
Yeah.
And he did.
He fulfilled his life purpose, but he tried to get more. That didn't happen.
Didn't happen, but, you know, that's a Reaper well spent. Got to see the Robotech. Now Happy can just SCV up like a madman. Now, Welmu, what's he going to do with that Robo? What can he do with that Robo? Well, observers... He didn't get to see whether his opponent's going for like a factory and such, but again, the fact that Happy plays so much ladder, if you play against Happy on ladder...
He doesn't mix it up like that much?
He doesn't mix it up that much.
Okay.
Regardless of the matchup.
So, Welmu's opening is not necessarily... I guess if you wanted to go with this fast Robo Bay, like, what realistically can he do? Is it possible that he does one of those 2-base Colossus pushes that we've seen him do before?
Welmu's a Colossi kind of guy. And with the early Twilight Council as well.
Oh, yeah. He can go up for Blink and just start he won't have a lot of units, but he can't really be pushed anytime soon, especially since his Stalker just walks in. He's like, oh, I see you're building a reactor on that. Okay, well, now I know exactly what's going on.
And you know what I find kind of funny about this? Happy saw the Robo, and yet he still has Marines in his mineral lines. And look at this, Nathan. He's getting those missile turrets. So I talked about this before the series even started, that Happy is that guy that you can't really pull off gimmicky stuff against him. Because look, he saw that Robo. He didn't see a Stargate, but he's still playing exceptionally safe. So this is kind of like, obviously it's good to play a lot of games, but when you're a guy playing a lot of games, that also grants you a lot of losers to very random things, in which when you lose against a random thing once, you never want it to happen to you again. And Happy falls into that trap where he doesn't cut corners despite what he sees. Whereas he could have very easily avoided, A, that Stalker seeing anything in his base and still causing Welmu to be in the dark, but also just not making those turrets at all.
Benjamin, you were telling me that Twilight Council could be a sign. I'm getting the vibes, man.
Getting the vibes, dude.
It's going to be, there's no probes being built. He's stopping at 45, and he has one out on the map, so is it just going to be this Colossus push?
I think it could well be, Nathan. I feel that I
called
both these players out.
He sees his army moving out. Like, unless Happy does something crazy, like, he can't just drop 2 forges, right? He has to do something now from this position.
Welmu isn't a guy... Well, in fact, Welmu does tend to mess around with how many forges he makes, but in this position, the fact that he's cranking out Blink, Thermal Lance, Colossi, and also he got all 4 gases running so smoothly, and the fact that he didn't make any more probes than the, like, 16 on each mineral patch that he has kind of thing, like, we have to assume that Welmu, he's gearing up for a very, very aggressive 2-base all-in here, and against Happy, given the fact that he spent so much on turrets and he allowed his opponent to scout him as easily as he did because he had Marines in his mineral lines rather than like defending the ramp, we have to assume that Welmu's in a very comfortable position here.
Yeah, that's nice. That's it's still not like the end of the world. If you look at like Happy's position, because he could try to get aggressive, although I will give credit to Welmu's observer. He has one like pretty well placed. He knows there's a 3rd base, so he kind of has an idea that Happy's not looking to go ham. But here comes that army, man, and that's the that scan. He sees no 3rd base. He's like, okay, you put out a Stalker here. Ooh. What are you doing, man? What are you doing? And he's gonna retreat back into his main base.
This is nice anticipation by Happy though.
This is still. I still think this is really tricky because this choke point is so difficult to work around with. The Colossi can hit those bunkers from the low ground. Like, he really needs to make sure he has on-point Viking control to hold this ramp.
One thing that Happy always does very meticulously, though, is whips out that second starter. Oh, if that factory did land there, that could make things a little bit awkward for Welmu, a little bit longer. Ooh.
Well, he landed one of his Vikings, took quite a bit of damage. Oh, he picked it up in the medevac. Okay.
Being fly here, he is.
I mean, it's not going to kill a Colossus down there. Oh, grabs another one, and Welmu's control. Looking solid so far. Looking
solid, but there will be 4 Vikings out very, very shortly, which is how you deal with these Colossi. Welmu just waiting for his 3rd Colossi to join the field, it looks like. Not really sure here.
Yeah, well, he takes some heat on one of the Colossus, but only energy, or shields lost.
Big stim.
Guardian Shield force fields these units at the ramp, and he's just continuing to shave away. He has not lost any Colossi yet.
Yeah, but these Stalkers, they're all getting low. Really good Blink micro, but looks like Happy holds pretty darn easily at the top of this ramp, actually. Yeah. While he's lost a lot of his ground firepower, with these bunkers staying alive and the fact that he's got so many SCVs repairing, these Colossi are exceptionally low too. Welmu can't follow this up.
Yeah, this doesn't look like a breakable position anymore. So Welmu has to try to play for the contain. He starts a 3rd Nexus, he starts a Forge and an Immortal. You get a little bit of anchor power back home as he picks off another Viking. And from this position, I guess every Viking he shaves off delays how soon Happy might try to force his way down this ramp. Not that I think he really should, like, it's still very risky to try that, but the Colossus is going home. I don't think there's a sentry with this army either, right? So he can't even force field him in. He's just going to wait for him to barge down and then just blink away.
Happy handled this exceptionally well.
Yeah.
Like, we have to realize what happened here. So he went for a 3rd, and despite playing so safe and middle of the roadie, he has a decent number of SCVs. He's got good upgrades. Like, he's 1-1 against a 0-0 Protoss here. He defended, he got enough Vikings out, he realized what he was up against, and now just busts out, kills the pylon, kills the observer, and forces the army back. And now, the orbital that he once made there goes and just retakes his base very slowly. Welmu, though, oh, I love the fact that he's getting stormed so quickly here.
In case a counter push with SCVs were to come across the map.
Any sort of attack. I mean, with that amount of Vikings, and Happy, he makes a lot of Vikings when he goes to Vikings. So the fact that he's just staying on 2 Colossi here, and using that Robo to make Immortals instead, and just resorting to switching to High Templars, it's a really groovy move by him.
Yeah. +2 attack starts up for Happy. And Charge is close to finishing with this Storm. I will say the late +1 armor is definitely going to make things tricky if he has to take some sort of fight, but I guess that's where Storm really comes into play, as he does have some Templar banking energy, and they'll actually have enough energy for a Storm by the time any type of push or drop could hit him. Also, Observers, I think. He's got something in like the southeast to watch in case any medevacs come by.
Yeah, definitely some blue on the map so we can see, oh, a pylon it is. So he'll get to see. Happy going very hard on upgrades here, getting +2/+2 and +1 for air weapons. Even getting a Ghost Academy relatively early here. So Happy, his infrastructure, his economy, it's right on track. He's got a decent SCV count, 62. Probably wants to head for about 66 and then stop. But yeah, right now the game is definitely looking like it's in Happy's favor.
Yeah, he's going to clean up this watchtower once again, and this all comes back to Happy getting that hold of the early on push. Like, Welmu put himself into a tricky spot by delaying his upgrades, by going for that push, delaying the third base, and now Happy kind of has freedom. And I love that he's been so adamantly looking around the map, because without any pylons set up, Happy will know that he can eventually make some push or do something without being super worried about a warping on his side of the map.
Certainly. Even having a Marine positioned in his opponent's 4th to make sure that, hey, this guy isn't cheekily expanding against me or anything. Had his Vikings positioned above the turret, so whether Welmu just kind of like clicked on the minimap there for his observer to go to a certain location, or it was blocked by the Vikings there, that was nice. That was nice. So what's, like, in fact, to say Welmu went for a 2-base all-in here, he's done well to recuperate. Like, he's got a decent supply. He's not too far behind against Happy.
Gives you the idea he does this a lot, huh, the Muslim? He's got that follow-up.
Both these guys, to be fair, both these guys are quite predictable when it comes to this matchup. Like, or rather, you know Happy's going to play safe and by the book.
Yeah.
But
I get the vibe that Welmu's the guy you expect to be aggressive, right?
He goes Colossi 2-base all-ins, man. He's the guy that does that. He's the guy that took maps and pushed innovation to the limit by doing exactly this.
Yeah. 4th Nexus is on the way. This is definitely something that Happy wants to do something about. Delaying this would be huge. Now, +2 armor is done, but both +2 upgrades are complete for Happy. And Welmu knows he can't hold on to this, so he just instantly cancels. He's not going to try. And with both Ghosts and Vikings on the field...
Whoa, that's a lot of High Templar.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's pretty much all he's got for damage at this point.
The Stalkers are not with this army, so those Vikings move in. EMPs hit pretty much most of the Templar. He gets all the Templar, so only 2-3 Storms available.
That is still a nice Storm on his Vikings.
I think he's got 1 or 2 more in the back. He's going to land those Vikings. Yep, moving in now. Another decent Storm hitting on top of this army, morphing into Archons, warping in Zealots, but the Immortals are dropping, and that's what he really has to deal against these Marauders and Vikings with. But the Zealots, he's actually pushing him back.
How's he doing this? How's he holding on so well? I mean, great firepower from this Immortal and the Archon, despite having no upgrades, but man, I'm very surprised. I thought Happy was going to win that hands down.
Yeah, a fantastic hold by Welmu to hang in there with just, even though so many of his Templar got EMP'd, he just had those 1 or 2 key Storms you need to take a big fight against Terran.
And look at his bank, too. He's got so much money to spend here. And Happy, this is nice, though. Totally taking advantage of Welmu with this drop.
Yeah.
And takes out the Nexus.
Yeah, this is a really big pickup, and he does want to get out with some of these forces, loads up the medevacs, and... Okay,
he's out of there.
That was nice. All right, that was a very, very important pick-off for Happy, because these things just snowball so quickly. So Welmu drops down to basically 1 base economy for the next 80 or so seconds, as his main is pretty much mined out.
It's very close to being mined out for sure. So that was a very nice withdrawal from the fight by Happy, and then just quickly dropping into the natural there. So, good anticipation by Happy. He's also getting his 3/3 upgrades here with +2 weapons to air. Re-adding Ghosts to the mix too, and they did so well that fight. He impeded pretty much every High Templar, and the Storms, to be honest, they weren't really that clean on the army of Happy either. They were kind of like both on the same spot. There was kind of just an Archon lying under it.
Yeah. Well, Happy, his +3 upgrades are finishing soon, but can he stop this army? He has a nuke on the way. I believe he has personal cloaking already researched for these ghosts. He's scanning. Are there actually any observers with this army? Does he? I don't see one. And usually they're like clumped in with that Colossus, but I don't think he has an observer with his army. Okay, now one's joining. Very important. As he, even this cloak being able to come up and get these first couple snipes as the observer's not in position, takes out most of the stormers, but he still manages to land one on the left side as the Zealots charge forward, doing the best that he can to fight against this. He is losing the cloaked ghosts now, but kiting away from those Colossi kind of removes them from the battle.
Oh man, like, Happy's handling these fights very well. Like, he's splitting, he's microing, he's EMPing,
and there's no pylon here to reinforce off of for Welmu. He has to send his Zealots all the way from his 4th base. I really feel like he's starting to overextend himself with this attack.
He certainly is, Nathan. With one Colossi in the field, that's cool and such, but these reinforcing Zealots, definitely doing a lot of work.
I think that this fight maybe turns out differently if he's able to get that pylon up front, because like eight Zealots at the start of that fight, to boost in there would have been huge, but waiting so long for them to run all the way down the map really complicated things. And now Happy still rounding out that army very nicely. He's getting high-sec auto tracking, so his missile turrets and his planetary fortress have a bit more range. And those Vikings in there +2, everything's just kind of shaping up. And actually, I hadn't even thought about this. +1 attack is just now coming in for Welmu.
He's got terrible upgrades in comparison to Happy. And Happy, he's on 5 bases now, Nathan. His economy is absolutely rolling, and I believe he even has a 3rd starport on the field too.
Yeah, he was building like 5 Vikings. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, 73 SCVs is a little bit excessive. That being said, it is Happy. He likes to do what he does, and in fact, he's even adding more.
For how often Happy misses building SCVs in the early game,
he's making up for it now.
He likes to have a lot more in the late game.
But when... like, taking the bottom right gold, I kind of like that just because he can at this point in time. But having 79 SCVs, it's risky.
He cloaks. Pew, pew, pew.
That's a lot of High Templars.
These are some very important key snipes. The army's going to engage now, moving in, picks off the Templar on the left. Is he even going to get a storm in on like 3 Marines? Gets a little bit on the Vikings. That's not bad. Oh, that Archon splash. He's going to get most of the Vikings retreating from this fight. Does he still have any Colossi with this army, though?
I don't believe he does, Nathan, but he is chasing Happy down. Yeah, Happy.
Cracking this planetary is going to be tricky. He needs to get some pylons further up to reinforce off of this.
Some ballsy blinks here.
Yeah, it's also blocking the pathing for his Zealots that are trying to help engage this army. Happy building 6 medevacs now to reinforce and keep this army alive.
Happy's army, without those ghosts to EMP these Archons do certainly
all the Vikings he has are landed, and another Colossus did show up here, so Happy is going to lift off.
Just makes them easier to target for these Stalkers, though.
Yeah. You know, as he continues to stem forward, he actually might be able to pick off this Observer, too. But Happy took the planetary in the bottom right. He's building a planetary fortress at his opponent's gold, and I have to say... like, once that finishes, it's just so difficult because if you go to attack that, then he just kills your 4th or 5th base on the left side.
Certainly. You can't really deal with that with just, like, a handful of Zealots. You really need to commit to killing that, be it with, like, 12 Zealots and a couple of High Templars to storm the SCVs. But now, Happy, that's a scary army, man. That's a lot of Archons, but EMPs definitely deal with that.
Yeah, this is a very gas-heavy army out of the Protoss. And, yeah, like you said, EMPs in general... I mean, they deal with Archons pretty well, if you can get close enough to them to kill them, of course.
This army's so tiny for Happy, though. Like, when you have 80 SCVs...
How many medevacs does he have? 80 SCVs and something like 10 medevacs in total, I think. Like, that's a lot of supply in units that don't actually fight.
This is a very good drop. Despite a lot of it not unloading, the supply is maxed for both these players, so trying to warp in units is going to be very difficult for Welmu, given that he is maxed.
I do like retreating back into this choke where he can basically make maximum use of his EMPs, and I think he still has the Observer with his army. So, okay, he's going to move in now. The Archons are stepping forward. Most of them are like, attacking production structures, though. I don't think Welmu's going to be able to win with a fight here. His natural has been knocked down. This Colossus was just derping for a good little bit. It's going to get sniped. Oh, boy.
Colossi. The units load up into the medevacs. A few of them. Oh, save me. Okay. Gets them. And now he goes and positions behind this pylon using Welmu's own infrastructure against him. And he holds on. Did he even lose his 4th there? Producing 5 SCVs again here? I almost feel losing those SCVs was a nice thing to have happen to you at this point in time, but Happy's very happy to just remake his economy again. despite being very good already.
He has more. It's okay, Happy. You don't need more workers at this point.
Now, Welmu, he's kind of catching up on upgrades. He's getting 2 Colossi at a time here. Losing his natural is a big deal, given that was still a mining base. And Happy, he's the one being aggressive now.
Yeah, I mean, it's like he'd like to get aggressive against this, but double Colossus production, and now I think he's getting Observer speed. Is that one?
This Protoss army just looks so scary in
Yeah,
comparison
the
to his
Protoss army
Terraform.
just looks way bigger because you expect Terran armies to be bigger because you don't have as many SCVs. Like, this is a point in the game where you want to have an extra command center or two and maybe be 50 SCVs instead of, 77.
Sure, and
He's still building more.
he's got a sick bank too, and it's really weird with how Happy he's doing this. This is very Cass-esque, but yeah, we'll see how this works out for him.
He's going to go up for this fight. The Colossi have never really been a big part of any of these battles, so if he could get a full-on engagement, that would be ideal for him. But Happy gets another drop on the left side. Welmu, his gas count isn't that crazy, and I guess he's dumped a lot of it into these Archons, as he's not been playing around with Storm too much anymore.
I love how Happy's using the buildings to help funnel in Welmu's units, given that Welmu's army, half of it's melee. But these drops by Happy, they're definitely dealing a lot of damage.
Yeah, he's going to come up and trying to attack this planetary fortress. I think he threw out 1 EMP. Okay, now the Archons move forward, a few more as the Vikings hit on the Colossi. There's still 4 Colossi with this army. He still has his Immortals together. But
Not a very
Happy's...
high Viking count either right now.
Yeah. The thing is, Happy's bank is really big, but if he takes a bad fight and loses that whole army, it takes so long to reproduce units as Terran that it's going to be very tricky for him. But these drops still doing work. And keep in mind that despite everything that's happening in this game right now, Happy's mining out the last base that for Welmu to really take, which is that southeast gold. Like, he's taking all the money out of there.
One worrisome thing, despite these drops dealing so much damage, it just allows Welmu to pile more into his army. And now, look at the army supply, Nathan. 136 against 117. I actually think Happy's been playing a really, really solid game here. But somehow Welmu's managing to rebuild every time.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Welmu's actually been able to afford to do what he's doing. It's quite impressive. Is he going to rebuild that Nexus again on the left side? Okay, there we go. Now it's in production once more.
+3 almost completed
The
here.
thing is, I think the ideal scenario is that Happy trades against Welmu, not defending, because, how we get on top of Terran production, even if they're rebuilding, then they're done. But if he can attack Welmu and trade away and just trade costs effectively, then he can rebuild and he'll be fine. But he does not want to. I feel like as Happy, you don't want to take that big fight at your base if you can help it.
I mean, you don't want to take a fight out on the map in the open either.
Yeah.
Because that's where you can get stormed. It's where you can get flanked. It's where these melee units really come into play.
Solid storm there. Push the army back. He pushes this command center back. He's letting his Colossus get hit by a missile turret.
Look how Happy's trying to do this, by the way. He's really trying to use the terrain against Welmu here.
Yeah, but he does move in now, and a lot of those cloaked observers, those cloaked ghosts getting picked off. He does snipe the last observer, I think, so while this army pummels through his bio, the ghosts are letting loose what damage they can.
Wow, these zealots running free here through the army, but looks like Happy is taking a bit of a better engagement here despite losing everything. He's the guy with the bank, so as long as he holds on and doesn't die right here, right now, he's in a favorable position. And even those ghosts stay alive here. There's no observers.
Yep, the observer pickoff was very, very important. And I think Happy even built at that choke point just a little bit north of this area. He built another PF. Yeah, good luck getting through that.
Yeah, you don't get through that.
That's an EMP choke point of heaven. So this is basically what I was talking about. Now Welmu is re-maxing very, very slowly compared to Happy. Welmu has no bank. Happy can immediately just pour all of his resources straight into useful units again. And as long as you're given time, then you're totally fine to do that as Terran.
There's a few things that surprised me by Welmu here. Now, Happy's economy, obviously, it's out of control. Welmu, I don't think he even scouted his bottom right gold base here. I don't... In fact, so Happy sees everything, obviously, but does Welmu see that gold base?
No, he never knew.
Never scouted it.
He's how does he have so much stuff?
Yeah, he has no idea. And if Welmu knew about that and just played slowly and just went and denied that base, he'd be in a much better situation. But also, the fact that Happy has such a high SCV count, if Welmu just played it calmly and just had High Templars scattered around the map, he could actually win the war of attrition very, very easily against his Terran opponent, given that his army would always be smaller than the Protosses. But Welmu, he kind of played into Happy's hands here, kept trying to barrel roll him down, kept throwing armies at him.
Yeah, the way that this... Oh, no. This is a very sad way to find out, Muslim.
It's the prettiest looking PF I've ever seen.
He's going to show up. He's going to be like, oh, no. You mined out the last base that I was going to take.
Yeah, it's not a good feeling.
Well,
it's not a good
it's
feeling,
like,
Nathan.
send a zealot. Go!
Now, what does Zealot do? It's like, oh,
my
avenging my little probe.
You know, that's an expensive loss there as he's running low on resources. EMPs drench that army as he does. I mean, he walks into a bit of the storms, but he really needs to hold on to this base.
I mean, these storms are with him.
All these snipes just absolutely wrecking everything. He's going to move forward here. The Colossi doing what they can, but there's too many Vikings, and I think he got the observers again because I see some cloaked ghosts still pew-pewing away. It's going to land everything. GG. Whoa, nice game one in this this best of 5.
A really nice game one. And like to say how it started out as well, like Welmu going for the 2 base Colossi all in and Happy being very prepared for it. I didn't expect the game to go on as long as that.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of short games here, especially in the bracket stage of the Frostbite Masters, where we have like a lot of days where we like walk out and like, man, we finished really early today, but seems that tonight we are going the distance, and that was a really, really awesome TVP to be able to watch. As late game Terran versus Protoss is something that I think many Terrans, myself included, struggle with. Being able to watch Happy work off of his advantage from defending at the beginning of the game, but then not throwing it away once he had the advantage, I think is that's like the hardest part for me personally.
Like, there's a few things that were exploited very well that game. Like Welmu, with his ability to catch the Terran up, just because Protoss units are cheaper for how good they are.
Yeah.
Like Zealots and High Templars, 4 supply of that's 150, 150. Like 4 supply of Terran, if you buy like, let's say a Ghost and a Medevac, it's like 300, 200. It's way more expensive. So Welmu, he utilized the fact that he can play catch-up in that matchup very well. And you saw that he switched out of Colossi to that Immortal High Templar Archon mix very, very early, which is cheaper. Not as powerful, but you get it out faster and it's more mobile and such. So that was really nice by him. And Happy, he played a TVP style that I haven't seen in a long time since CAS, really, which is, hey, I'm actually going to get 80 SCVs and just macro. I'm going to drop quite a bit when things get rough. But yeah, having such a sick economy, like, it does work out, but
getting away with taking that gold base was really big too there.
Like, I feel that the real weakness against that, though, having so many SCVs, is if the Protoss just doesn't attack into you. It's like, okay, well, you're mining out, but your army's going to be really small. So, like, if we fight out in the open, all it takes is one fight for me to win outright, which ultimately is probably going to happen.
Yeah.
If you have, like, a 20 supply smaller Terran army than what it should be, like, if you have 10 ghosts less, like, the army's way worse. Which it could potentially be.
Yeah, he could have had a lot more in pretty much every single fight that game.
Welmu just never decided to turn off his kill switch that game, you know? Like, there was only one portion of the game where he had to play defensive, and that's because he knew he had to survive, which was after his 2 base Colossi all in.
Yeah.
He then was like, okay, I'm going to get my 3rd base and play defensive. But then as soon as he held off the attack, he even tried to move out, and that's when Happy dropped him. And he kept trying to kill Happy. Like, sometimes you have to realize, like, now is not the time to fight.
Yeah, especially with the planetary forces. Like, Happy made very good use of those. Like, later on, building it in that choke point, and I hadn't even thought about it, but for that map, that's a very nice way to lock down that area between the 4th and the 3rd for the Terran. Like, I actually like that quite a bit. So, yes, I think that would also be really nice to see in, like, TVZ. I'm getting ideas.
Overgrowth there.
Overgrowth.
The next map of our wee series here.
For going to Overgrowth to Muslim.
Aye.
But we're not going to have a proxy gate. None of that for a 2-player map.
Nae proxy gate, laddie. So, spawning is the red Terran over in the southwest corner of Overgrowth. We have Happy.
He's got a noise. He's you knocked me out of it. I giggled too hard.
You got this, man. You got this.
All right. And his wee lady opponent in the northeast, representing Finland, he's Welmu.
I liked how you said representing. You really had the
representing.
Yeah. Did you know, like most Americans or English people specifically, I don't know if it's about Americans too, can't really roll their R's.
Really?
Yeah. It's like
a tragedy. I take a lot of pride in the rolling of my R's, to the dismay of many people who listen to me.
Ooh. Happy, by the way, going for his infamous One Rex Naked Expand.
This is like, there's lots of different cookbooks in the world of Muslim, but most of them will have some of the simple dishes in them. This is one of those dishes that is in every cookbook. Like every Terran guide that's ever been made has this build in it.
This is like from the caveman era, you know? But it's still pretty okay.
It's like, you don't really forget how to make a peanut butter jelly sandwich, you know?
Would that be in your most standard cookbook? Because, I've only ever had one peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and it was when I went to America. One, we don't call jam jelly.
There's a difference between jelly and jam.
Well, yeah, but what you guys call jelly is like
it's basically just sugar it's basically just jam with sugar in it. A lot of extra sugar.
Really? You're jelly? Because the guy that made me a peanut butter and jam sandwich called the jam jelly.
It might have been jelly.
No, dude, it was jam. But it was the weirdest tasting thing I've ever had, and like the fact that you people rave about that, I'm like blown away, man.
I haven't actually had a peanut butter jelly sandwich in so long.
You haven't had one?
I haven't had one in. Wow, it has been. I can't remember. I haven't had one since I moved to California. That's for sure.
What, is that like a year?
Yeah, I don't think I had one where I was living before either. To be honest, I might not have had a PB&J for like 2 years now.
You even have an
I've been clean.
For it?
I've been clean,
PB&J?
Benjamin. I've been clean.
Are they bad for you?
I mean, peanut butter is not peanut butter has a lot of fat. Like you don't want to eat a lot of it. But peanut butter is not bad per se.
But the
jelly is. I mean, jelly's a lot of sugar. Peanut butter is a lot of fat. But peanut butter you also get protein out of. And the fat, like some of the fats in peanut butter aren't all that bad. You just don't want to have a ton of them because they have saturated fats.
I mean,
as
you
well.
can get quality organic peanut butter, right, over in America.
Oh, yeah, you could get anything organic, but it doesn't change like what makes peanut butter peanut butter. Like peanuts in general. That's just how they are.
Okay.
They're not a bad health choice to Muslim. You just don't want to eat too much of them.
Thank you for this.
That's your
this lesson on peanut butter, Nathan.
Hey, you only went 2 barracks. This is kind of rare, no?
2 barracks and then 2 fast gases. So
he's gonna get a bit of a quicker setup for that medevac drop, right? Most likely.
It usually leads into the fast set of medevacs, and what can you really achieve with that? Well, I guess you can get a. Oh.
Well, you know what?
Against this, it's not very good.
Forget all of that, man.
Like, usually, guys, you get out a fast set of medevacs, so you can try and get into your opponent's base kind of around the 9-minute mark, I suppose.
But he's going to have to deal with some immortals very soon.
But the fact that he went... Okay, Nathan. The fact that he went for this engineering bay before the factory, that kind of makes me think that... Is he just trying to play really super safe here? Because he hasn't seen any tech, obviously. So is he just going to go for super fast missile turrets here with that engineering bay? Yes, he is. Oh my god, Happy plays so safe, man. This is a guy that you will never DT in your life, Nathan.
I don't think I would want to try.
Like, what has he seen? Nada. Absolutely nothing. So what is Happy preparing for? Absolutely everything. Like, when we talked about earlier, like, you got to be decisive in your builds. Well, Happy's shown us that he can play the late game. So the fact that he's so comfortable in kind of hindering himself early on shows how confident he is late game, but he's a player that you can certainly cut a lot of corners against. Like, if I was a Protoss and I knew how Happy played, I'd open up, like, Nexus first and really fast third bases.
Well, we've seen that, and we've seen Happy occasionally surprise us by dealing with it like that. I'd almost want him to not put these Stalkers here. Like, don't give him any reason to fortify that defense, because going up to 6 gateways to Muslim, no gas on the natural.
No more probes being made
this is
either.
so sick. This is one of those times where it's like, man, I really wish I had a Reaper to have thrown away and realized something fishy was going on.
So that starport does start around the 7-minute 20 mark.
Oh, he's going to try to catch this.
Is Welmu too fast, though? No, he ain't. He's
Too
going to lose
fast,
a Stalker.
too furious. Boom. Well, that hurts the all-in a little bit.
It might actually... Is that blue Stalker blood on the floor?
Yeah, man. Don't
I
you
didn't know they bled.
Yeah. Stalkers are...
Blood.
Stalkers are like expired zealots that just get repackaged into...
But they're armored, dude.
Yeah. Well, they're put in armor.
Armor with blood.
Actually,
in it, man.
Stalkers are like the dark side of the Protoss, so I think they're like dead DTs. I think is how that works. Dragoons are the dead zealots. There's your lore for the day.
I way prefer Dragoons.
Because they had like terrible AI and they were easier to kill, or
They look like cool crabs.
I didn't know you were such a big fan of crabs, Muslim.
Cool crabs.
Cool crabs.
you can't forget the cool grabs, man. By the way, I love the fact that this +1 weapon for Happy is almost finishing up here. And he's got 2 bunkers kind of prepared, and he is dancing with this SUV, so...
Yeah.
Oh,
the not money scan.
the not money
The
scan,
not money
Nathan.
scan into additional supply depots required.
Oh, dear. And
Well, yeah.
The
So
only-
he can force field these bunkers off really easily. Stim is done, but yeah, the bunkers are going to get targeted down immediately.
wow.
And Happy's just like, F this, man. I'm going home. And Happy, I mean, Welmu has his other base, so I think as Welmu, I'm surprised he's going up this ramp, to be honest.
with a double time warp up this ramp too, and now he's lost air vision, given the fact that he just kind of suicided that.
Yeah, that's... I honestly
Whoa!
think...
He's got balls of steel, Nathan! He realizes he's got rid of the air vision, so it's very
he's
unlikely.
like, there's no mothership core, too, so he knows that there shouldn't be anything at home to defend.
Like, Welmu running up this ramp here is ballsy as hell too, and
I would have liked to see Welmu just contain, but he's going to try to force it in now.
it's going to be the right move, because Happy kind of expected his opponent not to do this.
Yeah. So, because neither of them expected the other to do what they did, they're doing the other thing, and now it's happening.
And now it's working out for Welmu, but is he going to be able to deal with this drop? Not for quite some time, I don't think.
So he's going to immediately kill the natural command center of his opponent so that he knows, because he knows his Nexus is going to die. Mothership core has been rebuilt, but
He needs to start building
how
units back
do
at
you
home.
stop 2 medevacs of Marine Marauder from just killing you? He's going to lift everything up. Oh, he's going for the base trade, but none of these probes are going to escape.
I'm very confused as to why he didn't start trying to make an army at home, at least. And, like, he just sacrifices his mothership core. I feel that Welmu's making a lot of mistakes.
Wait. What about the probe that built the pylon in the natural? There's a probe somewhere on the map, right?
Did he just suicide it?
Did it die with his army?
So
No, it's there.
Okay,
It's there. The
it's
probe is there. So
He is alive, so he can technically start remaking a base somewhere.
yeah, he's got enough resources. He didn't kill the orbital, which is unfortunate.
Whoa, no, he can't make a Nexus anymore, Nathan. He just warped in Zealots.
What?
Why?
What?
Why would man do this?
Why would you? No.
Okay, guys, so Happy can
I think
never...
Happy's. I think this is one of those times where you bring out the rule book and you're like, base trade, Terran. No.
Happy can never lose this game.
Yeah.
Because Welmu can never remake a Nexus. What? Like, I don't understand what was going through Welmu's head. Why would you try and make Zealots at this point in time?
I like that he wants to take out the buildings that are far away from this main area early on.
Well,
But it's also far away from where his base is.
Yeah, he wants to try contain Welmu, keep his army in his main base. Oh, he's still got units over there
I'm so
too.
surprised he built those zealots.
That was a really clumsy move.
Like he like in theory he should never be able to catch this because he has no blink. He doesn't have anything with sick range like a Colossus. And he has so he should never be able to kill these medevacs. Like
No.
Happy's just going to dance around forever because he's got a floating building. And look, is he trying to go into Cloak Banshee out of this?
He's trying to get Cloak Banshee out. And he's getting depots.
Does he have any depots left to supply drop in his main? Is my question.
I mean, even if he does, he's...
Oh, the Zealot's going to kill that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's
It's like,
remaking
you supply
depots.
dropped it for 2 seconds? Why?
We'll be mining pretty soon, too. So Happy? Ooh. A few medevacs are getting locked down here.
Is there an observer at least on the map?
Let's have a look. See, unit tab. There.
Well, that is actually just the most painful way to die. He's gonna win. Yeah, Happy's gonna win this game in Cloak Banshee. He can't lose now, right?
Unless Welmu
Unless
can find
unless
this
Welmu
base.
finds the starport, but he has enough resources for a
oh.
Cloak and a Banshee now. He just needs to get on supply blocked, and then
He needs to get on supply lock for sure, Nathan.
Oh, does he not have another depot in production?
No, he doesn't.
Well, the dream is still alive, I guess.
The dream is still alive, Nathan.
I don't know why he dropped those mules when he could have supply dropped one of the depots he just built, but I guess
Got greedy, Nathan. Got greedy.
greedy boy.
Where's his other drop?
Actually, losing the SCVs gives him enough supply to start the Banshee.
Ha! It was planned all along.
God damn it.
And he loses the robo.
So-
but now it's only buildings in the top right. Where are the probes?
He doesn't know where the starport is, so I don't think he can win this game.
Is he going to try and get some kills here? Looks like it.
Yeah, well, even if he had an observer now, that Banshee still be able to wreak absolute havoc. Yeah, he totally has no idea where this starport is, so.
Oh, he's going to run into this stalk here and get a kill here. Oh, the fact that he didn't get cos. Oh, is he just going? Okay, I was about to say, like, you shouldn't really be trying to trade here.
Yeah, theoretically, Happy, this game is unlosable for you, so just be cool, be chill.
Can't produce any more SUVs.
Yeah.
That's something. That's
Yeah,
something.
it doesn't matter though. Like I've been in the like if your opponent has no observer, like I don't think.
I'm kind of worried with Happy's unit movement here. And when I see all that blue kind of getting close to him, or Welmu upon seeing this, he's got to be like,
It's got to be like, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it. Now the Zealot's going to find the starport, but it's too late.
too late, too late.
Doesn't matter anymore.
Oh man. This poor orbital command. Can't really do anything. Ooh, those medevacs are very low. Puts them into the low ones. That's an unusual move. Look at these stalkers. They're moving into position.
Yeah, catching these medevacs would be pretty nice.
Like, the thing is here, guys, like, Welmu cannot win this game, guys. That's the thing. And I think it is just a slow, inevitable death.
Yeah, because he got, like, if he doesn't get Cloak, or he doesn't get, if he doesn't get the Banshee with Cloak, then it's manageable. It's salvageable for a draw.
Right.
But when he sees that a Cloak Banshee is just killing his stuff, he should just know that the game is over.
Yeah,
he can't
kill
win.
It. He can't kill it.
The Banshee will run out of energy, and then it will hide wherever, and then it's just gonna chill.
Like, what's Welmu realistically hoping for here? He's hoping that
the
Banshee uncloaks and dies,
Yeah.
and then he accidentally lands the command center and loses that too.
Yeah, and then they get like a drop. He's like, no, maybe I'll just kill your immortals so that I can use my bio again, which is also a totally fine decision since there's no charge. These Zealots are pretty useless.
Does run away as soon as the stalkers start coming over.
Happy scanned the army several times. Like, he might even know that there's no observer. Like, if there was an observer, he would have already been taking shots at this Banshee. So, he's going to run out of energy, and this is the part where Happy just backs off. Back off.
He's going to be Larry with it. I mean, that's the only thing he needs to focus on right now. Like, yeah, lift this orbital, put him into a location where you don't have to worry about him.
Yeah, it would be a very impressive throw for Happy to somehow not win this game.
Like, the question going through Happy's mind now is, does my opponent have an observer?
He scanned the army a few times.
I
imagine that he's aware that at least there's not more than one, otherwise he would have one on the army, but...
Then it would be like, well, why hasn't my opponent just left the game, Nathan?
Oh my god. Yeah, you're actually... That's a really good point. You're making the mind games very apparent to me, Ben.
Like, he's making Happy think, okay, what is he working with here? Also, he lost all his probes, by the way, so this 295 minerals can't be used again. I'm almost kind of wondering why Welmu... In fact,
He's just dancing. I think this is for us. This is for us, not Happy.
Thank you, Welmy. Thank you. You are a really cool man.
He's giving us a little dance before whatever happens.
This little army of Happy, though, over on the left side of the map, just keeps scanning. So he gets to see, like, hey, there's actually no observers here. Poor Welmu. Poor Welmu.
It's a slow, painful death now. I mean, I'll be honest. If he knew what we knew, then it would like make no sense for him to still be in this game.
Mm-hmm. Like, I think Welmu knows he's dead. He literally was just waiting for a mistake because, technically, if he can kill that Banshee somehow and stop the command center from ever landing, then he can't really lose. But that's not going to happen.
Yeah, what he wants to do is lull Happy into a false sense of security that there's nothing to fight against his Banshee, and then let it fight uncloaked against the gateway, and then just run the stalkers up and get them.
This is crazy by Happy, though.
Yeah, I mean, every stalker he kills, like a Banshee straight up, head to head, beats 2 stalkers, so even if there was an observer...
Banshee? I mean, Happy's playing with fire here, man. Like, he goes into the top right corner, but I think they're still in range of stalkers over there.
So close, so close.
Have you ever casted a game like this before, Nathan?
I've played games like this.
But have you casted one like this?
No. It's like people are always like, well, Nate, you should always try to hype the game, make it as exciting as possible. But there's no observer. Like, unless he throws the Banshee away, it's not possible for Happy to lose this game. It's not possible.
That Phoenix, for maybe a split second, could have been like...
The only reason why this Phoenix would be useful is if, like, the hallucinated shots are actually making the Banshee respond to it.
Yeah.
So Happy, put the Banshee on hold position. I think it is on hold position now. Now the Phoenix can't push it anymore. And, oh, he's going to kill the Stalkers. And once the Stalkers are dead, then the game's actually just...
completely over. Now you can even...
I mean, the Banshee would beat 2 Stalkers. 1v2 in this scenario, Banshee wins, so it's already over.
And look, he's scanning again because he is still unsure if there's an observer on the map because it's like, I think now he's clued in to the fact that like what's actually happened here.
GG. Happy wins. 2-0 lead now against Welmu. I can't blame Welmu for trying.
No, you can't blame him for trying because I mean,
there's a lot on the line, and now he's one map away from being eliminated.
Now it's a hey, I have to win 3 maps in a row to win the series, whereas my opponent only needs to win 1. Like that's a bad position to be in.
Yeah. I can't I can understand once you said it where it was like, well, happy because Welmu didn't leave yet. Maybe there's a reason why, and he's got something hidden somewhere.
Yeah.
But what really did it? Because in my opinion, the number one issue was trying to move up that ramp when he dropped the 2 time warps. Because the beginning of this, it was like Welmu's on 2 bases.
Are you asking me what cost him that game?
Yeah, because I think he should have just once he forced the liftoff and clean up the natural, like either recall and leave your sentries behind to force field him in or try or something, or just sit at the bottom of the ramp.
I can tell you instantly what lost him that game. The fact that he had 800 to 900 minerals.
Oh, yeah.
And he freaking warped in 4 zealots and 2 stalkers.
True. The game was actually still salvageable even after he moved up that ramp.
Even when he moved up the ramp, he was in a pretty okay shape.
Yeah.
Like
those last couple of zealots he warped in cost him the game.
Yeah.
Totally cost him the entire game.
And let's... Yeah. I mean...
his army wouldn't lose in a straight-up fight.
No, not at all.
So he could have just built a Nexus at the gold base next to his robo facility.
Like, it would have kind of sucked with Bio being on the low ground and stuff, but...
Yeah, but like, at least he can still build an observer if that starport gets away. You know, like, there's so many other ways that the game plays out.
Yeah, it was just... You know, how often do you get into a base trade situation? Yeah. Like, I personally try and force it quite a bit against Protoss.
Well, it's fun to base trade Protosses.
Yeah, I mean, like, you snipe those Nexus, and if they don't have enough to rebuild, then you've got the win.
It's a bit trickier. It's like a bit weird because usually if you do it versus Zergits in the late game and other overlords are still flying around, so you get supply blocked and then you hate your life.
Yeah.
But against Protoss, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, like on your mental like checklist, you have priorities in any situation, any game situation, whether it's a base trade or not. But in a base trade, like against Protoss, Nexuses and Stargates, like snipe those. If they can't reproduce, then you can force the draw. Can't necessarily
you have
win.
a guaranteed not loss, basically.
Right. Yeah. But like in this situation, Welmu, it didn't feel like he had that in mind. He was just like, okay, I'm gonna get out an army. It's like that's not the priority here.
No, man.
Not the priority. But
you're gonna lose all your ability to rebuild.
Third map, Catalina. A decent map for Terran and drops.
Yeah. He did have enough resources to build an observer, I think. If he hadn't lost that probe, I think he could have, like if he had made it to his robo, he could have repowered it and at least built an obs too. But that last probe that got picked off as well. Man, I mean, those games, there's so many clutch decisions that have to be made, I guess. There's a lot we could talk about that for a long time. But this is potentially the last game of this series if our Protoss doesn't recover.
Do you want to have a friendly, not an actual bet, but do you want to have a little fake bet on builds they do this game?
Sure.
Okay, do you want to guess first?
What Happy's going to do?
Yeah.
I want to say, because of where his building is split, I want to say Happy goes gas first, mine drop. That's my dream.
Okay, I'm going to guess that Welmu goes for 2 base Colossi all in.
Okay, well, that's an easy guess.
Or he could do 2 base Blink Stalk.
Okay, if you're going to say Colossus, then I'll say do Blink.
Okay. And I think he's going to go... I think he's just going to Reaper.
Just regular Reaper on Happy?
Yeah.
Please? No. You win.
Well, we don't know if it's Reaper yet. Could still be like 1 Rex fast expand.
On Catalina.
Oh, nailed it.
To be fair, the build that I called out was like a build no one really does. So.
Well, you know.
Dacian Marine Lord occasion go gas first. They make it up for me.
That scared me. Did you hear that in the headset?
Yeah, apparently I just got burned. But, yeah.
You got burned?
Yeah. You, I don't know.
I
can't think of any other reason where the producer would be like, oh, in my ear.
I don't feel like I burned you. That was a nice little friendly talk at the start of the game. It's okay, producer. We forgive you for being a pleb.
Wow. But if you subscribe to both of our streams for $4.99, you can unpleb.
Then you can unpleb in one simple move.
Cybernetics core. I mean, the placement of buildings, blocking a Reaper from running around the mineral line. A little bit.
I feel that you can wall off much cleaner.
Yeah, I like
on the
to
left
see.
side?
Yeah, the left side's usually.
Like you put a pylon above the refinery.
Yeah, but the thing is, the Reaper. I guess if you run out the left side, if the left side is open and you run out of it, you still have to make it back to this ramp. Whereas,
if I run into this base, I'm extremely happy.
Why? Because because Happy's in the game, or
Because what stops me from my Reaper running... I can run in the right side, either through the mineral line, which you don't really want to do, but the gases are
okay, I
just
see what
very
you mean.
exposed.
I'm thinking about the Reaper getting out. That's a good point, though.
Like, I mean, there's nothing to stop me from being in there with my Reaper now. Because that wall on the right side, why would my Reaper ever want to go over there anyway? Like, look,
Yeah.
this is just annoying now.
Yeah, all it does is keep the Reaper from escaping if he runs there. I was thinking about the Reaper making it out.
Yeah, I mean, you never commit behind the mineral line over there anyway, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
this just doesn't prevent any probes from being shot at or got at.
That's a good point. Good point, Ben.
2 racks, by the way. So, Happy not going for that Widowmine follow-up. Like, here, like this militia core, very out of position here. Now as probes, this is going to be a lot of probe micro going down. Which, is he going to look... I mean, I think he could have actually committed to killing that probe there.
Yeah.
But it's just annoying. Like,
He's going to go in once again. Oh, no.
Like, again, he's microing probes and missing mining time. Like, oh, Twilight Council. You called it, Nate. You called
Wow.
it.
Am I the next Terran Banjo to Muslim?
Banjo, is that what we call it?
Yeah.
You know, Hey Pro was the Banjo, yeah? Oh, he didn't commit. If he went and committed and saw that Twilight Council as early as it is, he knows.
Yeah. So if he's going blink, then we call it even, because I got Welmu, you got...
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to do A2 base all in, be it Blink or Colossi, but like...
Well, what if he just takes third and drops 2 forges right now?
do you think he's going to do that, Nathan?
No, that'd be stupid.
Don't be stupid. And then he does it, and it's like, we both just sit here in silence.
It's just like
twiddling our thumbs.
Yeah. Then there's some guy in like the live report thread that's just like, ha! I knew he was gonna do it all along. It's like, you're a wizard, Harry.
You're a wizard. How do you feel about the Harry Potter series? Did you watch them?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
That was all the rage in high school, man. The Reaper totally died, by the way. Did he see that Twilight Council? Important to know. No. Well, that sucks.
I mean, would that really change Happy making turrets in his mineral lines anyway? Would it? Not sure.
Maybe, maybe not, but it would probably prompt him to build, oh, I don't know, a bunker.
By the way, he doesn't have his...
Oh, he's getting a robo. Boo, I thought he was going to go... Oh, no, no, no!
Well, that's a mistake you don't want happening. You run up the ramp of your opponent, and it's like, oh dear. Now, this is quite a...
No, run.
Does he have concussive shell?
I don't think so.
Okay, that was kind of ballsy then, him moving out like that.
Yeah, if there was like... Yeah, if he actually had gotten like a big warp into Stalker. So he's not actually going to go for a blink all in, especially after losing that first Stalker. He immediately took his next 2 gases. His robo facility was already on the way.
I'm almost thinking that Welmu's going to go for the double forge at this point.
I think after losing that Stalker, doesn't really have many other options.
And
Taking a third base is going to be tricky, but he's going to try. He's got a probe there. He's going to take a third and go double forge. He's gotta. He's got to. Do it, Welmu. Oh, he starts Robo Bay first.
This poor SUV just came out.
Boom!
He just wanted to dance, man. Turns out the 2 stalkers were watching.
Oh, he only likes to dance when he knows he's alone. No one can judge him.
No one can judge him now. So third base is being taken by Welmu, and against a player like Happy, honestly, this is a good move. Because Happy doesn't move out. He hasn't, like, Widowmine dropped in this series thus far. He's played very, very standard. Very safe. And, like, extremely safe, so to speak. And taking this third against a player that's playing really, really safe, well, you know you're safe until, like, the 10-minute mark, so why not? I even think, like, the fact that he lost his stalk so early on sucked, for sure.
I'm still a little bit perplexed that he's going into more gateways after starting that third base. Like, is he going to just do a supercharged 3-base mass Stalker Colossus push? Because if he's not, he needs to build some forges, like, now.
You've kind of seen this before, though, where you have your... Sorry, that was some loud crunching in my ear. You've seen this before where you go up to, like, 10 gates on 3 bases with no upgrades?
This is like a CJ and Tashiro style. He was the first person that I saw doing this, like, a while back, actually. This is like busted out last summer.
Maps on merry-go-round and such were very, very popular for this. You played a bit more aggressive, though, with the Blink Stalkers, because then you were kind of showing your opponent, hey, I could potentially Blink Stalker on you. Whereas Welmu just kind of sat back, didn't put on any pressure, didn't like make his opponent worry. Like Happy's kind of played into it a little bit.
Yeah, well, because he just plays so middle of the road, right?
So safe, yeah. So Welmu is going to get away with this, and his probe count, look at it, Nathan, it's going to be at 61, 62
yeah,
pretty
so
soon.
is he just gonna he's just gonna mass Stalker Colossus him?
Looks like it. No a single forge is on the way now.
Okay, now he starts to forge.
Double forge, there we are.
Yeah, I think he could have gotten those a little bit earlier. But, you know, as a Protoss player, the damage that you oftentimes take from drops, he didn't want to risk it, and I can sympathize in that regard.
Certainly. Also, the worry is, hey, my opponent's going to attack me around the 10-minute mark. I need to get out as many units as possible. Whereas Happy just never moved out of his base.
Yeah.
Like, what was he worried about? I'm
don't
not really
see
sure.
my third.
Doesn't reveal it. Doesn't reveal it just yet. Happy's going to scout for the other third position, see if there's a third there. Nothing.
This one's going in, man. This is the guy. This is the guy. He wants to run through. He needs to confirm. He needs to tell all the folks back home what's out there in the big, wonderful world. And he sees it. Okay,
he
very
sees
important.
it, and this probe count he sees at it too. Very, very worrisome. He even takes down a probe with him.
Kills a probe.
Now, Welmu does see this army, and this army, Happy's already 20-odd supply behind, Nathan. This has already been a great move by Welmu to take this third so early.
Yeah, it's paid off. Big time. Does kill an observer, but look, Happy's just like, I'm going to move out and immediately build another turret. Just going very, very, very slowly against a Protoss who is getting away with being very, very, very greedy.
Welmu's very happy with his economy right now. 68 probes on 3 bases. Man, that's a dream number. Getting +1/+1, more gateways. Right now, he's going to have 4 Colossi out pretty soon, and with the amount of units that he's going to have too, he's going to have superior upgrades pretty shortly also. He's just in a far better situation than he's been in this whole series. And what did he do this series? He just didn't all-in his opponent. He just played greedy. And against a player like Happy that plays so safe, this is what you want to be doing against him.
Yeah, Welmu looking very good here in game number 3, as he needs to look good in pretty much every game left, because if he loses this map or any of the next 3 we could potentially play, he'll be eliminated. So it's a tense moment. 1-1 is done. He can immediately start those +2 upgrades. He's getting charge. And he can go for Storm as well. He did take the gases on his third. This isn't one of those mass Zealot type setups.
No conclusive shell just yet, so the Zealots do run pretty darn quickly. Is getting charged, getting Templar Archives, getting his 2-2. This is one of those nightmare situations where you can potentially be like 1-0 against a 2-2 Protoss.
Yeah, that's bad.
Now, man, like everything for Welmu is going good right now, and nothing happened this game. And Welmu's the guy that lost more resources this game too. Oh, the old naked medevac fly out. What?
I don't know what just happened. Okay, he's going back to the drop.
Well, I think he was just searching for pylons.
Oh, okay, that's a good point. Those things move fast.
That's the only thing I can guess.
Oh, no. Oh. Runs into some stalkers. They're going to blink right on top of this, and one medevac gets picked off trying to run. Kill some stalkers.
Yeah, I mean, he traded out the stalkers.
Yeah, he got some value. If he managed to save both medevacs, then I'd say that actually isn't too bad, but Happy's like, let's end this! Right as Storm, Charge, and 2-2 are finishing.
I mean,
2-2 shouldn't be done,
yeah,
but
he's going to get
Storm,
that 4-2-2.
Storm is going to be done.
How many High Templars are on the map, though?
Does he...
Okay,
oh, okay. Yeah, you know, to Muslim. We as Terrans know when we see this happen in big games, it's highly unlikely that this is going to work for the Terran. I don't know. There's like, he's got Storms. There's the first one. Okay, grabs one of the Templar. Oh!
That's a healthy Storm, though.
Yeah, Time Orbs, Force Fields, Guardian Shields, the everything. Now, the Concave is pretty sick for Happy, but those +2 upgrades are about to kick in, and once those are done, these Zealot Warpins are going to be more than enough to stick back this army.
Wow, Happy just got absolutely mauled there. I mean, the armies are relatively similar sized here, but GG is called.
Yeah.
You look at this actual supply, it's 50 against 120. Like, granted that he just lost
Yeah,
a
he
good,
lost
like,
all.
50
Yeah, he
SCVs.
lost all of his workers. So
now,
it's
why
like,
did that game go so badly? Like, Happy just played too safe against a woman playing too greedy.
Yeah, he was just like, I'm gonna play really safe, not take damage, and then I'm gonna go for big SCV pull. Like the way that he was set up, I guess that was his intention from the beginning. But like, yeah, Welmu, that Stalker, he was like, okay, I'm probably not gonna be able to kill him because he's playing a little bit safe. Let's just be greedy, and then it just spiraled out of control.
It saddened me the fact that like Happy didn't even go by the standard rules of Terran. That when he gets his 2 medevacs, he walks out on the map. He just didn't do any of that.
He just sat there, very passive.
Yeah, I'm really curious as to why he did that. Like, he didn't really see any tech, so I guess he was scared of a lot of what could be. And when you are playing against a guy like Welmu, like, he even had his SV out there patrolling and stuff, he could have been worried about Welmu all-inning him, which, let's be fair, it's Welmu. He has all-inned him 2 games in a row now. But third game on Catalina, he did the correct thing, and he played the greedy game against the player that's playing too safe, and worked out very well for him.
Especially on a map that generally favors Terran with all the drop stuff that you can do. And
Deadwing. Deadwing is our next map of the series.
Bit more passive of a map than Catalina for sure. I think Welmu should probably feel more comfortable with whatever he wants to open with, since Happy isn't opening up with mines any game. Like, if you want to do an early bio push and you get like cross spawns, you've got a long way to go before you can put on any pressure.
I'm always curious about Happy's playstyle. Like, he's a player that's got very good unit control. Like, he does. Like, nobody can deny that. But the fact that he's kind of opted out of going for Widowmine drops at all, and I don't just mean like gas first Widowmine drops, they're a bit risky. But like the fact that he's not even gone for like reprint factory Widowmine drops, I'm very curious as to what his reasoning behind that is.
Honestly, I can't think of anything.
Me neither. Like, I remember when every Terran was going like Reaper expands and stuff in like TVP, Happy was still doing his 1-Rax naked expand, in which we have seen that he has gone for the Reaper expand, but like that's been the one game of the series that he lost. So, you know, he just kind of goes by his own rules. Even when Pro League's going on and stuff, and like GSL and what have you, Happy will be on Twitter like, oh, Ladder, like, why is Ladder dead and stuff? And it's like, well, we're actually busy watching Innovation right now, and you're like, you know, the best players in the world. He just doesn't go by those rules, you know. He doesn't watch other players. He just goes by his own stuff. But sometimes it bites him in the butt.
Yeah, I think Welmu could get away with being pretty greedy on this map, just based on the way that this series has played out so far.
I'd do the same build.
The same build?
Yeah, except I wouldn't lose a Stalker at the start.
Okay. I was gonna say like Nexus first, man. Just turn it up a notch.
Turn it up a notch. I mean, you could. I think any kind of greedy build against Happy is the way to play it. I think the way that you don't want to play against Happy... In fact, okay, so you know like standard cheese, like a single Oracle harass? I don't think that's very good against Happy at all.
No.
But I think double Oracle delayed harass is very good against Happy. Given that he waits in those mineral lines with like 6 Marines exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
But like besides that, cheese isn't something you really should do against a player that plays so safe. Unless it's greedy cheese.
Yeah, I agree there. It's like, he's set up. You said it perfectly earlier. Like, he's set up to deal with everything, but not be ahead against
any one of
anything.
them. Yeah. And it really is that. Like, in games, it's almost important to just be decisive and make a choice. Even if it's the wrong choice, it's still a choice.
Yeah.
If you don't make a choice, it's like in life, Nathan. Like, you make a choice of what you want to be, what you want to do. If you just kind of sit around and don't do nothing, but maybe do a little bit of everything, like, it's going to be somebody making a choice out of it that's going to do it better than you.
You got to be decisive. You got to commit.
You got to commit. Got to like, just freaking do it,
That's something that Welmu's quite good at.
Yeah, dude. He is decisive. He's like, I'm going to all in you.
Yeah, but he's very, you know, it's like, and you got to imagine that he's the guy that you want. Like, Welmu is the guy for the job, because once he has like his solution or his plan, it's like guy with that attitude, you go far in life, man.
Go far in life.
Be like, I'm gonna make this relationship work. You know, like boom, he commits to it. Boom. Imagine he'd be pretty good at anything. I like Welmu a lot.
Welmu's that guy that's just cool, man. I don't know a guy that hates Welmu, or even dislikes Welmu even slightly. I don't think it's possible to dislike Welmu. He's just cool. He's got a cool Finnish accent. He's got a pretty cool playstyle too. I mean, the fact that we just saw a proxy Robo Immortal all in from him, then we saw like he could do everything. He's been doing everything every series, and he just took out Violet also pretty darn decisively with cool play. Like the Overgrowth, he was a magician with how fast he made Violet's supply just kind of evaporate.
Yeah.
Like we didn't even see it happen.
It just poof, it's gone.
Yeah.
So Happy's the one that actually went for the fast command center this time around. Welmu did not make my dream come true. by going for Nexus first, but it's okay. It's okay because whatever he's doing, I know he's going to be committed to it.
Wow. That was cool, Nathan. That was well put.
Man. That's like, you know, Welmu, that would make Welmu a great wingman too, because you know that if he commits to doing it, he's gonna like he's gonna really
He's gonna go ham.
Yeah, exactly.
The whole 9 yards.
He's not gonna flake out.
You know the phrase "the whole 9 yards"?
Now I need to make sure that I go get drinks of Welmu after WCS.
Dude, he's cool. He's cool as hell. He'll outdrink the hell out of you though.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
He outdrank like the biggest of men. Like Targa and him, they were drinking. Welmu's still freaking going, and Targa's like, "No, man, can't." But like, yeah, Welmu's badass.
He's a beast.
But like the phrase "the whole 9 yards," what does that actually mean? What's it from?
Like, so in football,
It's from American football.
I'd imagine. Like, so the thing is, it's like,
do you know where it's from? The whole 9 yards.
I can only assume where it originates from because in football you have to go 10 yards to get to actually get to keep the ball in play. Basically, like you have 4 downs to get 10 yards, but it's like in the whole 9 yards. I never actually thought about that. I imagine it would have to do with like you just going all the way, just like it's like and everything else, you know.
Oh, I'm just asking.
I don't know of anything else.
I mean, it's
else
definitely
that really...
an American thing talking about yards. I just wanted to talk to a real life American
I just
here.
I just imagine it's football related.
So, Blink opening for Welmu. After the 3 racks opening for Happy, and he's gone for the early engineering bay again, going for concussive shells this game. So he's not going to play totally in the dark here. He's definitely going to go for a little bit of push. Now, depending on what Welmu chooses to do here, if he just plans on saying, hey, I'm going to throw down 5 gateways or so, and this push comes out and he just absolutely stomps it, then Happy's in a world of trouble. But we'll see what happens. The fact that he's going for 2... So,
Robo facility.
did he scan? Did he... He must have SUV scouted, yes. So he SUV scouted, hasn't scanned, and so Happy says to himself, hey, I didn't scan, but...
Yeah, if you're like Welmu, if you're a Protoss, just don't go Oracle against him because he's going to build turrets anyway.
At least, like, what time did Happy build them this game? Oh, he moved out just... Okay, I was about to say, he moved out just before his concussive shell finished.
So Welmu's lost a Stalker at the start of every game he's played against Happy in this series?
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. Like, okay, I'm still kind of perplexed about the early missile turrets. Like, I guess he says to himself, hey, if I don't scan, which is like, let's say 250 minerals, I might not see anything anyway, so I might as well just be safe against everything I possibly can be.
Yeah.
I guess that's what he's saying to himself.
Yeah, I can dig that.
I dig it too, but still, it's almost too much, man.
Yeah, I like playing the committed man style, you know.
The committed man.
Yeah.
Committed man.
Welmu's a committed man.
I like playing strategies that allow you to poke and scout a little bit, like the factory drop or Widowmine drop. It allows you to get information through being aggressive.
Yeah, you don't have to like waste things. You don't have to waste on like scans or whatever. Just have units there killing stuff, and they'll scout for you.
Exactly. Don't need to waste a scan. Don't need to compromise anything. Like, yeah, you'll have stim later and stuff. Ooh, I love this. The early third by Welmu.
Yeah, I imagine that's what this probe wanted to do, like a bit earlier, and maybe Happy hasn't quite clued into it, but he does have this little force on the map. But this, I can't imagine it getting too much done now at this point. Now with Blink being done.
I like the fact that Happy backed up when he did though as well. Like he moved out, he didn't overcommit, he didn't force a photon overcharge, and if he did commit, and he did get what I talked about where you get overwhelmed by stalkers in a counterattack, you're in trouble. The fact that Welmu's taken this tower when he does though, this definitely goes against Happy. Happy didn't even see that army approaching the tower, I don't believe. Otherwise I think he would have stayed there and tried to get the like little snipe off in the bushes.
Yeah. So Medevac's coming out now, and this is where Happy can turn it up if he wants. Doesn't have to go crazy with this, but Stim is also finishing, so like this is the time to get work done. And Welmu, this observer, beautifully and able to see the army moving out and the medevac locations.
Did he actually see the third going up too? Did he? Oh, I mean, did Welmu see it? Did Welmu see that third? Not sure.
Oh yeah, the third command center being built by Happy.
No, he didn't see it. Wow, that's a bit of a mistake. That observer chose to follow the army instead of doing anything else, and obviously wants to keep tabs on where the army goes because, hey, he's going for a third and he's slightly vulnerable here. And you often get in that position where So his observer's seen that army now. Oh, the pylon. Oh, does he actually see? Nice spot, like pylon spotters here.
Yeah, so this will force him to unload. It's like, yeah, you lose the pylon, but now he knows where to keep his stalkers, and if he tries to drop this, like, no. Then it's basically GG, because he will lose everything.
I like how Welmu is playing this game, by the way. Like, the first 2 games, he really tried to, like, kind of all in and get the games out of the way, almost. But he's really adapting to his opponent. And happy. He's staying with the tried and true method of what he does. He gets 5 barracks, he gets 2 very fast starports. Always 2 very fast starports. I've even seen games where Happy stays on 2 bases and gets 2 starports. It's really nuts, but he does it, man. He does it.
He likes... I guess it's like, you lose a...
I don't know why I thought you were just going to burst into, like, Baby Got Back just then.
What?
Like, he likes... You know, don't you know that song?
I see. He likes double ports, and he cannot lie. I don't know.
I really just thought you were going to start singing it. I was like,
You
blown
Colossi
away.
can't deny.
It's been a long day, Nathan. It's been a long day.
Yeah, we've, I think it's been like a regular day. We've just had so many short days that it feels like a long one. I don't know.
Well, I woke up ridiculously early this morning.
Oh, I wonder why.
I wonder why. Oh, the Observer of Doom. The Marine.
Boom! No!
Is he going to get him?
Oh! Wrecked.
Uh,
That's an expensive 5 hit points.
That was. Happy this game, though. He is quite a bit ahead in supply. And his upgrades, getting the +2 already. I love that. Does he even have a second... Oh, he does have a second engineering base, so he could put that to use here. But I almost think he's ignoring that, and he's going to go for a timing push here. Though the Ghost Academy goes against that idea.
I mean, the Ghost Academy should finish in time for him to get, like, maybe 1 or 2 with +2 finishing? No?
Only 1 gas on the 3rd. Do you think he's going to go for, like, a Ghost timing all-in with SCVs?
I think, yeah, build 3 Ghosts and then just go.
I mean, it could be. The gas is lined up for it. The mineral's not so much, but it's only a matter of time. And the fact that he's not getting armor yet.
And we'll see. The Ghost Academy's done. He's scouting with this medevac. There we go. 3 Ghosts. But Storm is on the way. And we all know what that means. Oh, he stimmed for the hallucination.
I mean, that's a natural reaction. See a Phoenix flying at you. Get that kill. But, oops. I mean, denying information is pretty decent too. And maybe keeping medevac energies low is kind of a cool thing too if you eventually want to drop with them. I saw you on your stream doing that today, just kind of stimming units.
Yeah. It's fun.
But yeah, I mean, like those guys got enough energy for days anyway. Like,
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
having more
true.
energy
Those medevacs,
potentially...
yeah, we got to put them to work.
Yeah.
So the key difference here, as all the SCVs get pulled, is that Welmu will not have 2-2, but the number of Vikings is pretty close to the number of Colossi, which is bad for the player that's pulling SCVs.
In fact, how many Vikings does he actually have?
He's got like 5 Colossi, so
I think he's got way more Vikings than this somewhere, Nathan.
Okay, a few more trickle in. What's the total count? He's going in.
Photon overcharge in his
SCVs,
base,
yeah, he photon overcharges, so that Nexus is going to soak up some damage. Okay, he's trying to bypass this. Storm is ready, though, so...
But he's got better upgrades than the Protoss, and he's got EMPs available.
Yeah, he needs... If he gets the EMPs on the Templar, then the dream is alive.
Uh-oh, these are very brave ghosts here.
He's moving in on this army. Time
Oh,
warps.
God.
There's
Oh,
the storms hitting everything!
The Vikings, Nathan, the Vikings, they all burst into flames.
Oh, my God.
Oh, but the
He's
Colossi...
continuing to run through that upgrade advantage,
Whoa.
man.
The Colossi just melted, Nathan, and these supplies, they're ridiculously close, but Welmu has no army supply left. I think he did it.
Oh, my God.
Let's just... Slow clap, Nathan. Slow clap.
Now I know why some people really hate Terran.
That was my maniacal laugh. I mean, those Colossi definitely got way too close there, which sucked, but... And I feel that your Colossi are going to die anyway. I think the Storm should have been used on the Bio rather than the Vikings.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the Bio is what worries you. Because the Colossi, they died anyway.
Yeah, wow, I mean, even the Bio ate, like, a pretty big chunk of those storms still, like...
Certainly did, Nathan.
I'm really blown away. I'm really blown away by how that fight actually went. Like, it almost makes me want to try to do this again. I'm like, well, I eat a lot of storms when I push. If he can win, well,
I can win too.
Maybe. Except in my games, 2-2 would be finishing. I mean, it wasn't that far off from what happened basically last time, except that he got the upgrade so much later. Like people don't. Like, I guess like in a lot of like commentator pro matches, I feel like it's not stressed enough how important the 2-2 for the zealots are tanking against the SCV pull. Because if you have 2-2, you almost never lose if you're able to. You know, you like trade away your Colossi and Vikings, but unless like they kill your whole army instantly. Like you can like the zealot warpins should generally be enough once the SCVs are dead to just push the rest of the bio back.
I love that Welmu's kind of like, okay, he lost all his SCVs, right? Which he did lose a hell of a lot. Like they both lost.
Yeah, but with
49,
mules
55.
though, like he should still be raking in the dough, no?
Yeah, he's. I mean, look at the supply again, Nathan.
Yeah.
114 against
Jeez.
69. Much better situation.
I don't even know why he's dropping at this point. Like, don't you think a direct assault, like you could just end it? Or maybe this is his way of, I don't know.
I feel that a drop is one way that you could let your opponent kind of kill you. Or kill the medevacs at least, you know? And get back into the game.
Exactly. Like, this is not enough to deal with Happy's army. This is enough to deal with Happy's drop.
Yeah.
So the army still sitting at home means that potentially Happy could throw away 20 supply right here.
Definitely. So Zealot does keep control of that right watchtower, I do believe. Oh, it's a Stalker. Took down that Marine. I really like the fact that Happy's going for 3-2 though, like these superior upgrades. He's going for these pylons.
The upgrades are what's going to give him a lot more longevity, even if he throws away units in this game, because 2-2 has not even begun for Welmu. He's just desperately trying to squeeze out units.
Yeah, I mean, even his probe count's pretty low. Like he's got 34 probes, and that's mainly because his main is almost mined out here. So why make more when you can't really? Well, A, you can't afford them, but B, there's not enough Nexi just yet to really spend them on. Getting up his third, here he is. 160 supply now against 88 of
Yeah,
Welmu.
I'm just waiting for Happy to push again. Like, I really don't. He has so much supply that there's not. I don't think there's enough storms to actually eat through all of it.
That was a really cool push though, like with the ghosts and such.
Yeah,
Like
I
we
mean,
talked about the potential of it happening, and it did.
The fact that he didn't actually get EMPs on the
Ghosts.
on
High
the Templar, like, just goes to show that it was still like a really, really well set up in every other regard type of push. Now Happy's coming, and I think this should be where he clinches this, and we should see him in the top 4. I don't think this is a holdable push for Welmu.
Do we have any ghosts on the field for him? I mean, like, there's one in
He's got 2.
Two. Okay. But that's 8 High Templar.
Yeah. I mean, if he can even just needs to get like 1 or 2 of them. Ooh. Okay.
Oh, this is quite a few High Templar spread out.
Yeah, just poke with a few units. Like, okay, he got a couple EMPs. Like, I still, like, there shouldn't be enough storms to kill all of this. The Vikings are going to move forward. The bio takes a lot of damage, but he can kite back, and there's not actually anything to kill all of these low health units. So,
Wow.
Happy's going to win. GG.